Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Omega Mondays. That's where we're going to bring you the latest about the Bad Batch, along with Star Wars headlines. With us is Mike Celestino, our editorial director of Star Wars here at laughingplace.com. How's it going, Mike?
Hello. I feel like we have a lot to talk about because we not only skipped a week of Star Wars headlines, but also there was May the 4th and 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, so it's going to be a lot crammed into this one.
There is so much to talk about. May the 4th was a blast. I loved your tweet the following day about what do you call that postpartum May the 4th, that letdown that happens. I saw you got some droid stamps.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I got those too.
Yeah.
I got those right here.
There was just so much going on. Oh, those are cool.
I do like them quite a bit. I'll be saving one sheet, and then we got a couple others to use on actual mail. So
lots going on. Apparently someone was tuned in for Disney Trivia Live, and if you missed that, do yourself a favor. Go check out YouTube. Go check out our Disney Trivia Live special May the 4th edition, and check out the fun that we had. But since this is Omega Monday, we're going to start off talking about the Bad Batch.
Yep. So we got the 70-minute season premiere, which premiered on May the 4th on Disney+, plus a second episode that was 30 minutes on Friday, May the 7th. And what did you think overall? We haven't really talked about this at all, Rebekah, since we've watched this.
I enjoyed it immensely. I have to say I was more emotionally touched than I expected to be by the opening with that dramatic voiceover that kind of catches you up to speed with what's happening timeline wise. And I got a little bit excited from that. I wasn't a diehard like Clone Wars Rebels follower, but I did enjoy them. So I was kind of happy to have that nod back. And the story, I really enjoyed the way they kind of kicked us right off into it. The way the Bad Batch arrived on the scene, as a thunderous, avalanche along the along the mountain, and then taking on the troopers there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty clear with that narration that they wanted us to know that this is a spinoff of the Clone Wars, because it's the same voiceover actor Tom Kane doing that narration, and then the Clone Wars title was there, and it kind of like burned away to reveal the Bad Batch logo. And I guess we can get into spoilers, right? Because it aired last week, so
yep.
Hopefully if you want to watch it, hopefully you've seen it already. But yeah, it's tying into Rebels. Of course, you've got the young Kanan Jarrus, and I know some people are upset that the events of Order 66 surrounding Kanan were a little different than how they were depicted in the Kanan comic book. So people who have really been paying attention to the current Star Wars canon are a little bothered that whenever they adapt something like that to the screen, to TV or movies, they tend to change it a little bit. And I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. It doesn't really bother me that much. I understand, my guess is probably okay, Dave Filoni, I bet Dave Filoni created the character of Kanan, right, for Rebels. So he was like, well, I want to see Kanan again in the Bad Batch now. And somebody was like, well, we've already done that story in the comics. Somebody at the Lucasfilm Story Group probably pointed that out. So they tried their best to keep to what, it's the same planet that they were on in the comics. I think the same clone commander that ends up killing Depa Billaba, who's Kanan's master. But they changed some of the other circumstances around that. It wasn't at night, and the lightsaber color was different, everything. But also the Bad Batch wasn't there in the comics, obviously, too. So I don't know. I think it's fine. They've made a point of saying you're going to get different perspectives of different events and stuff. So it's not always going to line up exactly. But yeah.
I was going to say, as someone who was a theology major, it kind of Star Wars for me is always a bit like kind of the gospel in that you have like a similar story, but like 4 different perspectives coming at it. So you're going to have certain spinal moments that are the same, but yet the kind of the peripheral, exactly how it went down, might be a little different depending on who's authoring it. So yeah, it didn't catch me in the same way, but I don't study Star Wars the way others do, and and those kinds of details are part of, I think, what makes the Star Wars community so interesting, in that you can kind of dive into the nitty gritty. So
yeah, but I thought as long as it's entertaining, I'm fine with all that stuff. And I did think that first episode was very entertaining, and I really my favorite thing about the series so far, and kind of the thing that was most intriguing to me about it, was getting to see the galaxy in that period right after Order 66, right after the Empire took over, and see how that evolves, like how we go from the Republic and the Republic army of the clones and everything into the Empire, because we know later on the Stormtroopers are not clones, so they get into that a little bit here with Grand Moff Tarkin. He wants to do away with the cloning program and move to conscripted soldiers, which we know happens eventually, but we don't know exactly when it happens. So I think we'll probably find that out in this series. Right now, the clones are still around. The Bad Batch is finding out about the inhibitor chips and the kind of the programming in the clones' brains. And then you've also got the namesake of this little recap show, Omega, who's kind of this mystery character, a young female clone of Jango Fett, that they've obviously tinkered with her DNA a little bit, and there's something else going on there too that makes her very mysterious. My theory, and I've seen some other people talk about this as well, but it seems like she might have some kind of force sensitivity. I don't know. Did you pick up on that?
Oh, I hadn't thought about it in that way, but yeah, she definitely seems to have a bit of a precognition at times. So yeah, that's an interesting notion that she is able to be connected to the Force. Which would also help with Rey, right? Because isn't Rey theoretically progeny of clones?
Yeah, but that clone would have been of Palpatine, who was a very force powerful person, and Jango Fett was never shown to have any kind of force sensitivity, so it's
awesome.
Kind of a different idea.
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Different. I wonder if we'll see. More. Do you think we'll get more about Omega, or do you think that this will be a character where we get like little drops here and there, but not like a tangible storyline regarding her? You know what I mean? Because sometimes a character's introduced and you feel like that's part of the reveal is going to be her story, but other times you're not sure.
Well, I'll get into the second episode here a little bit, I guess, and say that my fear about this series is it's going to be a little bit too similar to The Mandalorian, because it does have a very similar premise, especially considering the way this second episode went. This really, really reminded me of the Mandalorian episode from season 1 of The Mandalorian, where they go to the little farming village and hang out there. It was kind of like every beat was pretty much exactly the same. And, they've got this child that they have to protect, and then they're going to move from planet to planet, and the Empire is pursuing them. So I hope that they veer away from that idea quickly. And I hope that, to answer your question, I hope that they do explore more, that we do learn more about Omega than we have about Grogu. We got a little bit of information about Grogu in season 2, where he came from and his backstory, but I'm hoping that Omega is a little bit more of the mystery behind Omega is a little bit more the focal point of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, I was surprised that we had this once again, the dynamic of the kind of distant parental and a young person, being cared for. There was a scene with Omega and Is it Hunter? Is that the lead?
Yes.
In the cell, that it was very adorable though, and that was, I don't know if you noticed, but like he sits like this, and then she sat like that, and then he moved to another position, and she echoed it. That was very
right out of Jaws, one of my favorite movies, or probably my favorite movie.
Okay.
Great scene in that movie where the son is like mimicking all of Roy Scheider's movements, and they definitely borrowed that for this.
And then you also had in the second episode, you have where Omega is puts herself in danger, and Hunter comes down too hard, and somebody else has to kind of help him understand you can't treat a child the same way you treat a soldier.
Right.
And so you see that kind of that arc developing of the tough guy learns to soften up because a youngster's been introduced into his life. So I'm intrigued to see how much of this journeyman element that we had in Mandalorian, how much of it will carry into Bad Batch, or will it or will it not? Because it felt reminiscent.
It did, and I would guess that maybe both these shows were in development at the same time, but you can tell that they're also starting to try to explain some of the stuff in The Mandalorian using the Bad Batch, because this whole thing with the chain codes that first came up in The Mandalorian, I was like, what's a chain code? And now they're finally explaining what the chain code is in the Bad Batch. So I'm sure, Dave Filoni knows that both of these series are happening. It's strange to me that they would end up being so similar. So I really hope that their paths diverge at this point, like starting with episode 3, that we get some very different stuff from what we've already seen in The Mandalorian. But I am enjoying it so far. This second episode wasn't as engaging to me as the first one.
I would agree. Yeah,
but
I would agree.
I am looking forward to seeing more.
And also on May the 4th, Disney Plus dropped a couple of new videos. And one of them I would describe, it's called Biomes. I would describe it as Soarin' over California, but the Star Wars edition. It was Hoth and the planet with the blue shrimp that I can remember the name of.
With the blue
Sargon.
shrimp.
Is it Sargon or something like that? From Mandalorian, the Sanctuary episode. You fly over that one. You fly over
I think.
Yeah, Sorgan. That's it.
Yeah.
You fly over Crate.
Yeah, I watched both the vehicle fly-throughs, the Millennium Falcon and the Star Destroyer, First Order Star Destroyer. Those were good. I was interested to see that they were fully CGI, because I was thinking, well, you have the Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge. You want to take a camera in there and go around. But there's one very specific detail, that's that little step that's in the Millennium Falcon that they did not put in the Falcon at Galaxy's Edge, because it would make it like wheelchair inaccessible, basically. Mm-hmm. So that was there in the CGI version on Disney Plus. So it led me to believe, okay, this is completely 100% CGI. And then I watched the beginning of the Biomes. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. So I saw the Hoth part, but not much else after that.
Hoth, Tatooine. So the ones you would expect. Although I have to admit, I was surprised to see the Mandalorian. But it also, I know we're going to talk later about it, but it kind of made me, I don't know, it felt like it was like a taste of the Hyperspace Lounge that they had announced regarding the Disney Wish, to have those transition, the flying over the planet, because it was neat, because there's some vehicles incorporated into it. So like when you were flying over Hoth, right, the snow speeders came in, and then you saw
that was cool, because I was like, okay, this is set at a very particular moment in time, because the AT-ATs are attacking. See the probe droids flying around, and the Tauntauns and snow speeders and stuff. So this is like definitively during the Battle of Hoth.
You'll feel similarly when you watch Crate. I'm not as familiar with Tatooine to tell you if you'll feel that way about Tatooine, or if they just throw in things that'll make you be like, okay, that's fun. I'm not as sure, but yeah, Crate. I also felt like, I can think of where this probably was in the battle scene. And for my husband, it was a way to learn a few more planet names. So that was also a side benefit, in addition to the new episodes of Bad Batch and the shorts, which all of these are on Disney Plus. They also unveiled a new Simpsons short that was Star Wars oriented. I haven't seen this yet, I have to admit.
It's very, very short. It's like 3 minutes long. It flies by.
Oh,
But
okay. I could have taken the time out.
yeah, I thought it was worth watching. It's fun. It's got a lot of funny gags in there. And the first thing I did when I started it, there's a joke on the chalkboard written out in Arabic, the Star Wars language, and I was like, okay. I paused it, and it says, I think it says like, "Good job, nerds, you figured it out," in Arabic, which I was like, okay, that made me laugh pretty hard.
Very good.
But there's a lot of stuff like that, a lot of Star Wars in jokes. The babies in timeout are put in carbonite and hung up against the wall and stuff. So
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
yeah, it's fun, and it flies by. It doesn't take any time at all, really, to watch that one. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
And then recently, a few new comic books have been out, and we took a bit of a hiatus for like a week, and so we've got a few comics to discuss. Which ones do we have this week, Mike?
Yeah, so the big one this week was War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha, which is like the prelude story to this giant crossover event that they're doing. That there's actually a list in the back. I was really amazed by this, actually, because they list all the tie-in issues coming for War of the Bounty Hunters. Here it is.
Oh, that's nice.
I counted them. There's like 34 total issues that are going to tie in with this crossover. So they called it the biggest crossover they've ever done, and that's definitely true. So I'm really looking forward to that. This first issue is just kind of an excuse to get the ball rolling on the story. It's really about Boba Fett. He's on his way to Jabba's palace to deliver Han Solo in carbonite. It takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, obviously. And he kind of discovers that the carbonite is deteriorating, that the panel's like beeping, telling him that Han Solo might die, and Jabba the Hutt wants Han Solo alive. So he has to make a pit stop on Nar Shaddaa, which is the smuggler's moon, and find his friend who can repair the carbonite. And then in exchange, he makes Boba Fett go and enter into this like gladiator fighting arena. So it's kind of like this whole like video game side quest type thing. It was fun enough. I don't know. I kind of wish that Charles Soule, the writer who I really like ordinarily, I kind of wish he had come up with a more imaginative way to separate Han Solo and carbonite from Boba Fett. But the gladiator fight thing, it feels a little cliche to me, and but I guess it served its purpose. And considering how many issues of comics are going to tie into this story, it's going to get very complicated very quickly. So I guess this was just like the simplest way to launch that whole idea.
So this will answer those questions if you've ever wondered what happened when Slave One takes off from Bespin.
Yes,
that's what you'll find out in this particular issue.
Yeah, and I mentioned in my review, in the old canon, in the Legends canon, they had done this story called Shadows of the Empire in like 1996. That was a big crossover event between a novel, a comic series. They had a video game, a score, actually, and action figures and stuff. But that was the old canon's way of doing that, filling in the gap between Empire and Jedi. And now they're doing it with the comics exclusively and this miniseries called War of the Bounty Hunters.
And next up, we have the continuing adventures of the High Republic. This is issue number 4, and you've got the cover there.
Yeah, this is the High Republic Adventures by Daniel Jose Older. It's not the adult-targeted High Republic comic from Marvel, but this is the more kid-friendly IDW title. And it's about a bunch of younglings and a new recruit to the Jedi. You can see up there at the top right, who was just discovered to have force powers, and she's kind of making friends with the Jedi. She's been taken in by them, and then her friend was taken in by the antagonists of the story called the Nile, who are kind of these like space pirates. So we get to see like both sides of this conflict and what they're like in adopting these kind of younglings. And the leader of the Nihil, called Marchion Ro, is setting this trap for the Jedi that he kind of springs in this issue. So that everything's kind of like coming to a head. And then in the next issue, it seems like it's going to be a big battle when everybody kind of converges in the same location, this junk moon where they're hanging out. Yeah, this is okay. I like the other High Republic comic a lot more, but this is fine. It's definitely targeted more at kids, and I don't like the art as much as I do with the other one.
And then finally we have the, you know what I forgot to talk about when we were talking about the bounty hunter was that amazing Boba Fett imagery with him all covered in black, I guess because of he didn't want to be unveiled or realized when he was in the arena. I forgot to talk to you about that because I just thought that was so cool, and it was cool. What I enjoyed was you texted me telling me about it, and I told you I had seen a variant cover pop by on Twitter that was exactly what you had said, that you were wondering how long it would be before we'd see that as a little figure. And sure enough, the Marvel artist had crafted a variant cover already. And I was very pleased that I was able to give you a little bit of information. Whenever I can provide you with information,
right?
It always feels good.
Yeah, well, I know that Hasbro always likes to do these repaints where they can use the same mold of an action figure and just paint it, and it's not expensive to create that figure. So when I saw Boba Fett has basically painted his entire armor black, I was like, okay, well, they're going to make an action figure of this, right? Because it's easy to do it and people will like it. In the past, they've done one where it was entirely white because that was the original concept from Ralph McQuarrie for Boba Fett's armor to be or I guess it was Joe Johnston or one of them, to have his armor be entirely white as like this experimental version of a stormtrooper or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And then you sent me that variant cover, and indeed someone had already thought of that. So one of the variant covers is like a fake action figure packaging for Boba Fett
very, very
black
cool.
armor.
Yeah, and based upon a text you sent me just before we hopped on an airplane to Southern California, I picked up a digital copy of Darth Vader number 11.
Yeah, this was the comic in recent weeks that really got me excited, and this was the final issue of the second arc of this volume of Darth Vader that kind of culminates this arc where he's going to the planet Exegol that we first saw in The Rise of Skywalker, where the Emperor Palpatine has his whole cloning facility set up. And this is like 30-something years earlier, where Darth Vader actually ends up on Exegol and finds out what the Emperor is up to. He sees the whole fleet of Star Destroyers with the planet-killing weapons and stuff. The thing that jumped out to me immediately was when he comes across Luke's hand, or what I assume to be Luke's severed hand, like floating in a jar, which, you know, again, if you were a fan of the original expanded universe, the Legends continuity, that meant something to me, because in the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Empire trilogy, that Luke's hand was used to create a clone of Luke. And I was like, okay, are they going to go down that path? People don't really talk about that character much anymore. His name was Luke, Luke. That was Luke's clone. I think he dies in that same trilogy, so he wasn't around for that long. But I wonder if that's something that they'll pursue. Other people are interpreting it like Luke's hand might have been used in the creation of Snoke, which is another way to kind of read that, because we do also see like the Snoke, or what would become Snoke, clones in the tanks there. Yeah, but I thought this issue was really entertaining. It had a lot of action, and it's making me appreciate The Rise of Skywalker a bit more, which is a movie that I didn't really care for when it came out that much. But I like that they're building that mythology up around Exegol and the Emperor's plans and stuff to kind of make it all fit together a little bit better. So I do appreciate that.
Can I throw another theory out there to you about why it's Luke's hand?
Yes.
Because then you can maybe retcon Luke into Rey's family tree genetically. That perhaps there were more than two involved, within that. So perhaps we'll find out that while she claims the Skywalker name in the conclusion of Rise of Skywalker, that perhaps there's a legitimacy to it.
Yeah.
hadn't previously been realized.
That would address some fan concerns that I've seen. Yeah. But
my favorite, one of my favorite parts of this is this creature, man.
yeah.
This thing is enormous, because I don't know if you can tell on screen, but like this little bitty circle right here,
Yeah.
that's Darth Vader.
I love that they did this. The artist is Raphael Ienco, I think, and yeah, to give you the scale of this creature called the Summa Verminoth, which you first saw in Solo: A Star Wars Story, but now Darth Vader has found and kind of tamed another one in a space battle in a previous issue. But to give you the scale of this battle, if you zoom in, and you probably can't zoom in, but you can see that little yellow circle on the top of his head. That's Darth Vader riding the top.
Yeah,
of
sadly,
his...
if I try to, it just resizes.
Yeah. And I think in another panel, there's also, they show him fighting Palpatine, and there's another little circle of like where Palpatine is standing.
Yeah, I think down here in the other panel, it'll show you like a little circle. Right. This particular panel does it, but yeah, I thought that was particularly delightful to
I like that a lot.
Have this enormous, and then
yeah,
and the critter also. I felt like this is what my father would have. My father, who adored, Captain Nemo fighting and the giant squid attacking the Nautilus. I felt like this is a realization for somebody of kind of bringing that into a different realm. That this, it very much reminded me of that same type of battle between characters. So yeah, it was fun to see. I enjoyed that issue so much.
Me too. That was one where I think I messaged you, and I messaged like two other people that I knew would get a kick out of it. As soon as I finished, I was like, you got to pick this up.
And it takes a couple of little jags in it that I didn't expect. And since I was reading it on the Kindle, instead, when you turn a page in a comic book, you have all the panels right there in front of you.
Yeah.
But with the way the Kindle does it, if you're having that active panel, it just comes off a single panel at a time. So there's a particular reveal, that we talked about and for me, I didn't have it with turning the page, right? Because it was panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, right. And it was I was like, oh, when it popped up on the Kindle. So that was a great way to spend some time as I waited for my plane. So.
Yeah, and I'm actually so glad that I had a similar experience. Although I read the physical copy, I didn't spend a lot of time on Twitter or whatever that morning. But when I got back home and I had read it, I saw people were already talking about the hand thing and other stuff. So I was like, I'm so glad that this wasn't spoiled for me, because people see this and then immediately post it on Twitter, and they're like, oh, look, Luke's hand. And I would have been so angry if I had seen that.
I know.
Thankfully, I avoided the spoilers, but I got to remember when there's a comic that morning to stay off social media until I've read it.
Yep. I couldn't believe how many people already were sharing kind of that cloning vat but empty, and then saying, have fun, people. So that people were all kinds of things were popping up in there in memes. Let's see, Mike. Also, last week we got a little bit more information about that Hyperspace Lounge that's coming to the Disney Wish. Let's see if I hit this button, if we still keep everything.
I think this was announced between the last show that we've done and now. So we haven't talked about this at all before, have we? I don't think so.
No, I don't think we had a chance to talk about it. I think we may have talked about it a little bit in Disney Parks Talk Live, from the perspective of the cruise, from just travel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. And like I was saying, if they do Star Wars Day at Sea on the Disney Wish, this is going to be a tough place to get into at nighttime, because it becomes like an adults only bar in the evening. And if there's a ton of Star Wars fans on the ship, there's going to be a long wait to get into that bar, because I know I'm going to want to hang out in there.
Well, StarWars.com and Laughing Place, they shared the over 40 ships that you can expect to see if you're watching it, because as you can tell in that video, it's a dynamic image that you're looking at. It's not like just a single moment outside the portal. It's going to be an actual like vignette of life traveling a cruiser through space. And so when you're over Coruscant, you're going to see a selection of ships that you would expect to see there. A Naboo N1 starfighter, the Halcyon, which isn't the Halcyon what the name of the
That's the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser.
yeah. And then you're going to fly over Mustafar, where you'll see an Imperial Lambda class shuttle, an Imperial Star Destroyer, what you'd expect. When you're over Tatooine, they've told us that we may see varying timelines. So they list here the Millennium Falcon, but they also list the Razor Crest. Over Batuu, you'll have Resistance A-Wings, various types of food transports, Resistance, First Order, the Millennium Falcon. I think they're going to try and work the Millennium Falcon into as many of these as possible, because I think that'll be the most recognizable to people.
Right.
And then over Endor, you will see a Resistance Bunker Buster, which I don't know. That one is not known to me.
Yeah, I thought it was odd that at Endor, it's taking place in the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess they do go back to a neighboring moon of Endor on Kef Bir or whatever in the Rise of Skywalker, but you would think they would show the Battle of Endor from Return of the Jedi.
That's what I was hoping, and I'm still hoping that that we'll see the moment the Death Star explodes. Like, wouldn't that be like over Endor? Like,
especially
we're
if you
flying
get the whole place to shake.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
that'd be pretty cool. I'm sure if you consume enough beverages, you can have that kind of moment.
What'll be weird is you're supposed to be in space, but sometimes you'll feel that movement of the ocean. Like, what's going on there?
That'll be, and then apparently they're going to have a specialty drinks relating to what we are seeing. So I know that with the Skyline Lounge, that depending on what region was on the window at the time, because for those of you who haven't cruised, there's a bar aboard the next class ships, the Fantasy, and when you're in that lounge, it will have like the evening of Barcelona. And so as you look out the windows, it's as if you're overlooking Barcelona, and then there'll be like this magical pixie dust, and then suddenly you're looking over Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And the menu, they have varying drinks representing the various regions that you would see when you're there. So I'm expecting that we'll see kind of drinks that are meant to be kind of reflective of Batuu versus Endor. So it'll be interesting to see. And they've said that some of the recipes will be different than what we've seen with Galaxy's Edge. So it won't necessarily be, the same drinks as Oga's. So new stuff for Star Wars fans. I'm excited. I know you are too.
I am. And we spent some time in that Skyline Lounge on the Fantasy just trying to find all the little Easter eggs with the help of the bartender and stuff. But yeah, I know Darth Vader was in one of them, in one of the city scenes, and then of course like little hidden Mickeys in some of the windows and stuff. But I bet this is going to be a lot like that, but probably even more so, trying to find not only the Easter eggs in the video or the projection or LCD or whatever it is that we're looking at, but also the Easter eggs in all the artifacts on the walls and displays, the physical stuff that's actually there in the room with you. So I am hopefully looking forward to hopefully eventually seeing that in person.
And then also around May the 4th, we got a little bit more of a look at the lightsaber that caught everybody's attention at the conclusion of a video by Josh D'Amaro. And here we see it connected with the Galactic Starcruiser. I'll just hit the little rewind button on the right screen and make that happen again. And wow, it still takes my breath away.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they're using it for. They haven't really said if this is going to be only something that a performer is going to be able to use, or if this is something that a guest is going to be able to get their hands on. Because they have shown we are going to have like adult lightsaber training. I mean, it's probably going to be accessible to everyone on the Galactic Starcruiser. But I don't know if they'll use that particular lightsaber or if it'll just be one of the, the ones with the permanent blade on there. So I'm curious to find out more about that.
We haven't seen that one being used in combat, right? We've seen it posed, and so
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's a kind of a photo op or video op kind of experience or not, if it's something more durable and tangible beyond that. I'm with you on that. I'm still waiting to see kind of what it exactly how is it realized, and the model of the Halcyon Galactic Starcruiser has made its way to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and so you can get a nice up close look at the model. I'm guessing this is the same one that we saw when the D23 Expo, right?
That's probably the case, yeah.
Yeah. And so you can get a feel for what the ship is supposed to be. And if you've been to Disney World recently, you know that that's like not how it's going to look to those of us at Walt Disney World. Because they aren't building this vessel
right.
at Walt Disney. They're building a large, boxy, typical hotel looking thing.
You'll pretend that you're inside that thing, but it's not actually going to look like that from the outside.
Here's the entrance to the Halcyon, where you will begin your multi-day vacation. I want to say it's a 2 or 3 night stay, and in essence, you're going to be transported aboard a galactic starcruiser. Everything will be within that environment. You're going to have possibly like shuttle transport. Oh, let me spit that out correctly. You're going to be able to, I think, take day trips to Batuu, right? That's considered to be part of it. And exactly how they're going to work that Disney magic so that it's a shuttle, we haven't learned all the ins and outs of. But
I mean, my question also is like, this thing is obviously going to cost a premium. Once you're there and have paid for this experience, I think it's 2 nights. I hope that they're giving you a good reason to go down to Batuu, because I've spent some time on Batuu. I really like Batuu, but once I've paid to go on the Galactic Starcruiser, I don't know why I would want to leave to go to Batuu, which is accessible to me ordinarily. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yeah.
I hope that there's a good like in-story reason or an activity that you have to do to go down to Batuu.
I'm fascinated by so many things. I'm wondering, is there going to be pool facilities here, or is it just because it's such a short day there won't be, because everything's going to be indoors, right? So I'm curious about that. If not, I'm hoping that there's at least like a spa, because that's part of, I think, would be fun. But I'm so many questions as that we continue to learn more about it. We've seen that auditions are happening for roles such as captain, cruise director, a ship mechanic. There's a character that was described as fixer that to me sounded kind of like a bit of a scoundrel. There's a first order lieutenant and a saber trainer. So those auditions are out there. DisneyCareers.com is where you can find out more about that.
It's a really exciting project, and if you want to be a part of it and you happen to live in Central Florida or want to, there's your opportunity right there. It's kind of an open call, right? So anybody can apply for that.
Yeah, so you can check that out at DisneyCareers.com. And and I think they say submissions, that's coming up here in a few weeks. May 21st, as I recall, is what the date on that is. So continue to follow Laughing Place. We're on Twitter. We're here on YouTube, and the website laughingplace.com for more information about the Galactic Starcruiser as that project continues to develop. Over at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, they announced some coming toys.
I'm excited to get that Doc Ondar plush, although I don't know if it's shown up actually yet at Toydarian Toy Maker. I know Jeremiah or somebody was there on May the 4th and didn't see it. So
okay,
but you also got a Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks, and what's that one called? Meerkat or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lava meerkat.
Meerkat, and then a new blue version of the Loth Cat there on the left, and then some kind of new backpack and a Dio.
Yeah, the backpack is an addition to the Droid Depot line. So the one that they currently have is kind of a gray and rose gold, and this one's now moving to the blue and rose gold, or maybe it's more about just of a gold actually here. So yeah, I'm. That was the one that caught my eye. I was trying to decide if I went, but it took me a bit to figure out. I'm sorry, but it took me a bit to figure out the meerkat. I actually had to write to the team and ask what is on top of the bowls, because I did not initially go meerkat. I was actually wondering if it was just a cuddly version of a womp rat.
Yeah.
And then I was let know that no, it's
I mean,
it's
that
a meerkat.
Meerkat was only ever in one episode of The Mandalorian, so it's not really a established Star Wars creature other than that. So it's interesting that
and
they
I
chose
remember
to do that.
Cara Dune was leaning against the post, like throwing little morsels at it near the end of the episode, and so once they said meerkat, then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about the little Star Wars Timon. And on May the 4th, Mike was over at Downtown Disney for a special shopping event.
I want to pause you here because I forgot to bring my visual aids for this. So I'm going to go and grab them. And can you vamp for a minute? Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. No worries. I can do that. So May the 4th was super, super busy here over at Laughing Place because there was so much merchandise that was coming out. And we're going to talk about some of it in a bit. But among the items, there were a bunch of new socks popped up over at Rock'em Sock'em Socks, and I'm pulling up the URL right now. And lots of classic characters, along with the Bad Batch. So if you didn't happen to catch Barely Necessities, we did have a special Star Wars edition, and you can find that here on Laughing Place. But while Mike picks up the items that he grabbed at the Downtown Disney event, I'm going to show off some of these socks. We have Chewbacca and Yoda, Han Solo. I think they put out 25 new pairs of socks featuring Star Wars characters. So if you're needing to add a few more socks to your collection, Rock'em Sock'em. Not only, and then here you go with the new Bad Batch characters. So you have Crosshair, Echo, Tech, Hunter, and Wrecker, along with a couple of Bad Batch logoed socks as well. And those are all over at Rock'em Sock'em. Like I say, about 25 new pairs of socks popped up over there on May the 4th. So if you didn't happen to catch that, jump on over there for some footwear Star Wars style. You can be as subtle or bold as you want. Oh, hey, Mike. I was showing off some socks.
Great. Yeah, so I went to Downtown Disney on May the 4th at 11 a.m. I had a scheduled reservation for their shopping event. The big thing that everybody was excited about there was the lightsaber legacy, Skywalker Legacy lightsaber collection that had the Leia and Luke's reforged lightsaber. I did not buy that. I think that was like $250 or something.
I want to say it was $325, but yeah, it was up there. And when you open the box, it plays the Force theme.
Yeah, that's a picture I took there of it, and I think I got the inside. It was wrapped in this nice orange cloth. And you were saying the color was different than you were expecting, right? Of the Leia.
Yeah,
saber?
The Leia saber looks quite orange. When I look at this, to me, this is more like a BB-8 cosplay saber.
Yeah.
Than it is what I would expect for the Leia saber. But it could be that because it's a metallic material that it's taken on a lot of the orange of the material around it. But or maybe I'm just too picky. But I was hoping for a little less orange, maybe a little bit more blush with the Leia saber. Okay. But how was your shopping? Were you successful in?
Yeah.
Because I know the frustration for my friends was those Darth Vader ears.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Oh, my friend has been dying for some really nice Star Wars Vader stuff, like ear-wise. And they popped up online and were listed as sold out right away, even though it said pre-order. And then nobody has seen, and she hasn't seen, and I haven't seen them anywhere tangibly. I thought you would have them here, and I was going to be like, can you pick those up? But never saw evidence of them. No. So I'm not they're a mystery at the moment. But what did you find?
I mean, similarly, I was hoping they would have that Doc Ondar plush at this event, but it was not there. So I did get the blind bag Star Tours wishables. I was like, yeah, I'll take one of those. The options were Rex, Captain Rex, the pilot. It was like C-3PO, a stormtrooper, and then I think there are 2 different versions of the Star Speeder.
Yes.
That you can get. But yeah, the one that I ended up with was the one that I wanted the most.
Cute.
So I was super happy that I got Rex in my little bag. And I didn't even get to feel it or anything. She just handed me one. So I kind of lucked out. There's what the package actually looked like. It actually says "squeeze me" on there, so they're encouraging you to feel to see which one is inside, I guess. And then I did get a pin for May the 4th, 2021, to kind of commemorate that Star Wars Day of this year. And I bought the t-shirt as well, which is hanging in my closet, so I didn't grab it. But it's a similar design to the pin. You can see it there on the bottom left, that t-shirt I bought. And then the other thing I grabbed from the Star Wars trading post, which they also had at that event, but I happened to go in the trading post first, but they had this new Batu Starbucks mug. It has a lot of the characters and locations from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It says Batu in our language, and then Arabesh down there at the bottom. Rey and Chewbacca, Vi Marati, Doc Ondar, DJ Rex, R2 and BB-8.
Great sons.
And yeah, and Kylo Ren, the
Lothcat.
Lothcat, Stormtroopers, and the AT-AT, and the X-Wing and stuff. So
that's a nice looking mug.
It is nice, yeah. I'm always looking for more Galaxy's Edge specific stuff, so that was a cool find. And they also had an Endor one, and
these are the wishables that Mike was referencing.
Yeah.
You can see the 2 Star Speeders, C-3PO, R2-D2, a Stormtrooper, and Captain Rex.
Yeah, and out of all those, yeah, Rex would have been my first choice, and just happened to be the one that I lucked out with.
It's so cute.
That was cool. It was worth going down there for that.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff down there. I'm thinking I might need to pick up a Bad Batch hat. So I tend to like to wear ball caps when I'm on TV, because then I don't have to worry about my hair very much. So I'm gonna have to get a Bad Batch for these Omega Mondays moving forward. Also on May the 4th, there was a Bad Batch unboxing. You got to open a fun little present from the crew over at Hasbro.
Yeah, Hasbro sent us over this nice box. They actually sent us 2 boxes. One was this, and then one was just a regular cardboard box. This nice box had a bunch of the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary Star Wars figures in it. Like I got a Qui-Gon Jinn.
Here, let me make you the solo now.
I got a Tusken Raider. There's this Greedo who's supposed to look like, he's kind of painted to look like the original Greedo action figure from Kenner. So he doesn't quite have the right colors from the movie, but he's just supposed to look like the wrong colored action figure that they would have put out originally, but now in a bigger scale, in the 6-inch scale. But in that other box was a couple of the
Hi, Olivia.
characters from the Bad Batch, including, this is Hunter.
Oh, cool. Can you can you already identify them? Because I haven't paid enough attention yet to where I can visually identify them yet.
When they have their helmets on, probably not. With the helmets off, yes.
Okay. Yeah, with the helmets off, I'm good.
And then I also got Crosshair, who's the sniper guy. Who's
the troubled one.
Yeah. Let me take his helmet off here. That's what he looks like. So that's fun. Yeah, it was just a fun assortment. It's also Mace Windu, 6-inch.
Okay, but you haven't shown the one that I want to see yet.
Which one was that?
The Ewok who steals the speeder bike, whose name has popped out of my head.
Ah.
Yeah, there we go.
Pop Blue.
That and Leia in the Endor. That's like one of my favorite Leia looks. Leia in the Endor poncho and
Yep.
Leia in the Hoth outfit are my favorite Leias.
So there you go. There was some Return of the Jedi. These are the smaller scale, 3 3/4 inch. There's the ATST driver, Pop Blue, and Leia.
Cool.
Yeah, it was some good stuff.
Such
So
fun.
thank you to
Wow, lots of
Hasbro.
fun toys over at Mike's house.
Yeah, I should have put out one
We're
of the
gonna have to
Bad
turn you
Batch
into a
guys.
toy photography person. Have you ever followed those? Have you ever seen those on Instagram?
Yeah, that takes more talent than I have, I think, though.
They're so
Um,
much fun. It's
I know
amazing.
Mike
Our
Mack has
own,
been getting
yeah, I
into
was
that.
gonna say
Yeah.
our own Mike Mack has been toying around with that, haha, and I very much enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that he'll start doing that even more, maybe sharing it on the LP Instagram because lots of fun. Way more clever than my simple new emo fun. Let's see. Also happening. Oh, so cool. I like the way your camera is. You can do that. I can't. My camera's like up high, so
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't.
know.
I can't have fun with mine the way you can.
I have a weird low
Yeah, but
laptop
then you can
camera.
do that. You can add
Right.
like guest
That's
stars
true.
to your stream. Over at Funko, they
Did
have
we get the
sorry.
Hasbro? Sorry, there
No,
was
go
a
ahead.
Hasbro announcements from May the 4th.
Oh, I may not have that. Why don't
Okay.
you start to talk about it, and I will pull that up, Mike.
Yeah, 8 a.m. Pacific time on May the 4th. Hasbro did a live stream where they revealed some new Star Wars toys. I don't remember what they are at the moment, but
No, it's okay. I'll pull
yeah.
it up.
Um,
I know you tweeted about them.
I tweeted, yeah, I was doing like a live tweet where I did a bunch of screen caps, and then later on they sent us some nice images that I put in a post.
Some Imperial individuals I see.
Yeah, so that guy on the right is his name is Rampart, the officer from the Bad Batch, and then the guy on the left there is a shock trooper who's also from the Bad Batch. Those are the 6-inch Black Series. This is the Boba Fett.
Oh, holiday special.
Well, they're calling him the prototype edition.
I know he isn't, but when I see him, that's what I think.
Yeah.
A holiday special, the Crayola crayon version.
Yeah. It seems like he's gonna come in like, if you close that, you'll see in the other photo you can get him in like different variations on the rainbow coloring. So,
oh wow,
I'm sure that's gonna be popular to collect like each possible iteration of that.
Of course. Why else would they do that?
I don't. It doesn't appeal to me because I like the characters to look how they look in the movie. So it's not something that I would necessarily.
But I could see as a Boba Fett fan enjoying having that like sitting on a shelf. I can just the
yeah
visual. Nice
sure.
to add some color.
And this is, who is this?
I'm
Commander Wolf or somebody? ARC Trooper Echo, sorry.
No worries.
So that's Echo. Echo does eventually join the Bad Batch, but that's after he gets captured by the Trade Federation or whatever. This is before that, when he's just a clone trooper.
I was going to say, Echo is simply a clone trooper. The rest of the Bad Batch are kind of this specialty developed group of kind of next level, right? That's the
Correct.
difference between them. Okay.
Yeah, and then this is the Jawa in the small scale, the 3 3/4 inch scale. I believe this figure is coming with the Razor Crest if you pre-ordered that from HasLab, but now they're also going to be releasing it separately. It comes with a little egg. And then this is Tebow. So we were just looking at Poplu, the Ewok, but now this is Tebow, another Ewok, not the football player.
MeUndies unveiled a special The Child print, and I pulled that up for Laughing Place last week, and I have got inundated with MeUndies ads ever since.
Gotcha.
The Flame Trooper.
Yeah, this is from Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. So they're getting putting out a 6-inch version of the Flame Trooper from the video game. And then also this one everybody was excited about, the Night Brother warrior from the planet um,
Dathomir?
Dathomir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Yay, I
he's
was helpful.
kind of the same race as Darth Maul, but there's a bunch of these that you fight in that video game, Jedi Fallen Order. And then they revealed that they will be doing an Omega, the namesake of our little recap show here. So we will get an Omega figure. They haven't revealed what it'll look like yet. And then we saw the Shock Trooper already at
I wonder if there's some element that will come with Omega that is a plot point, and perhaps that isn't why they've, you know what I mean, like a little reveal.
Yeah.
So that we wouldn't want to see like a lightsaber or something, you know.
Yeah,
that would be if that would be like a major whoa, hey.
Right.
If that happens. So you wouldn't want to put that out. I'm not saying that's what it is, by the way, just people. That's not my
we're just guessing.
I'm just saying that I could see where that could be a spoiler. So you could do that. Like if they'd have released The Mandalorian with a pram, that might have changed the way we went into the show, right? The clone trooper. And
this is Vice Admiral Rampart, who's the main Imperial officer from the Bad Batch. And this is a droid that was called the Death Star droid in the original Kenner action figure line, although he was seen on the Jawa Sandcrawler. So he was kind of like mislabeled, but the name kind of stuck. And now they're re-releasing him again in the vintage collection, the 3 3/4 inch scale collection. And another Luke in the Endor fatigues to match that Leia that I just showed you. And then
a sand person. Oh, sorry, Tusken Raider.
Yeah, either one.
Tusken Raider.
And they revealed the winner of the fan vote. So this is the Republic Trooper from the Star Wars: The Old Republic computer game.
I don't think that's who I voted for.
No, but it's just a re-release of a figure they had done a few years ago, or maybe a decade ago, and now that got the vote to get a re-release.
Okay.
And then lastly, there was a helmet. This is the Death Watch Mandalorian helmet from The Mandalorian. When you see those flashbacks of Din Djarin as a child getting rescued by the Mandalorian warrior, this is the helmet that character was wearing. Very muted color scheme compared to like Boba Fett, and not quite as chrome or shiny as Din Djarin's helmet. So somewhere in between those two. But I really like the look of that, and I bet that's going to be a popular one.
And it's one of those that's full, like you can actually, wear it. It's big enough that you can wear it, and it has electronics, so some sort of show reel audio and that kind of stuff. Let's see. Back with the world of Bad Batch, Funko unveiled some Bad Batch character. Let me try this again. Funko revealed a bunch of pops on May the 4th, including some from Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Amazon.com had them. They're listed as sold out, but if you go over to Entertainment Earth, quite a few of these are still listed over there at entertainmentearth.com. If you click through Laughing Place, no change in the price to you, but Laughing Place does get a small bit of money to continue to fund shows like this.
Can you go up? I didn't see the Omega one. Can you?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, there it is. Thank you.
And that one was over at Target. It was an exclusive while supplies last. I'm pretty sure that one disappeared quite quickly. But once again, I believe that was a pre-order, and so if you visit the site, you can often find that it'll be released. I think in that case, it might be in mid-July that the figure will be coming. And then, the Bad Batch as envisioned with enormous heads and little bodies.
As they do. I still haven't gone to that Funko shop in Hollywood, although everybody tells me it's pretty cool, so I got to make my way over there.
I totally forgot. I guess I could have gone when I was down in Hollywood not too long ago. It just didn't even cross my mind.
I know Jeremiah has gone a couple times now, which is funny because he lives in Florida and I live here and I have not gone. But I'm not terribly into Funko, so
I was gonna say that's the way of it.
yeah.
Over at Lego, they offer a pre-order for the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle set.
This is cool. I like the way it looks, and I like that I think it comes with the whole team, right? It looks like all of them are represented there. So
yes, along with a gonk.
And a
That's
gonk droid.
Droid.
We saw in the second episode, I think.
Yep.
He was using the gonk droid as like a weightlifting.
That's what he was doing. I was trying for the life of me to figure out what he was doing with that thing. But yes, you're absolutely right. He was just doing reps.
Yeah.
With the gonk droid. Oh, that's hysterical. So this is available for pre-order. And D23 announced a pin set is coming, celebrating the 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. I like that only 2 of these 6 Lucasfilm pins are Star Wars related. I like that they put in some of the other franchises like Willow. There's a Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Red Tails made it in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Very nice overview of the Lucas.
Yeah.
Offerings.
They could have done probably twice as many though, and got a bunch of others in there too. But I guess Disney's probably hesitant to put out pins for movies that were distributed by other studios. So,
I wonder how challenging that is too.
Yeah.
Just knowing the way companies can be. And the big news for me on May the 4th was that Tamagotchi is bringing you an R2-D2 virtual pet.
I never had Tamagotchi yet. That was a little after my time. I think I was probably like 16 or 17 when those started getting popular, so I wasn't quite young enough, I don't think.
And this is all the tweet was. Was this. And I was like, woohoo!
So my impression with the Tamagotchi is you had to feed it, right? So what would you feed R2-D2?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see kind of how it's realized as a but my memory is I saw that at some point they do one? Like there has been a digital pet version maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like, but I'm not sure. I might be misremembering. I might be creating my own memories. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think you would have to get? Like periodic oil baths?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's what you'd have to do. Periodic oil baths. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. And then I know you collect vinyl. So did you pop over and order your Empire Strikes Back symphonic suite?
I already owned the soundtrack, the movie soundtrack. My wife got me the box set that has reissues of the original releases of the original trilogy. This is a different deal altogether. It's not conducted by John Williams. I'm not sure what the deal was with that release originally. It's not something I'm familiar with, but somebody said this is the first time it has been reprinted since it was first came out.
Correct. It has been out of print since its 1980 printing. So yeah, it's new arrangements of cues from the film score. So yeah. I'm with you in that I do not own this. I'm interested to see its popularity, to see if we, see some tweets when people get it, because I am unsure what I'm not familiar with this album myself. Yeah. I'll have to bug my brother because he's into score and ask him what particularly makes this one a fan affinity to, where there was so much excitement over its return. So but I love that more and more of these are available. Growing up, I was a big fan of musical score, and in fact just recorded a lot of stuff off my VCR. So it's nice to now have cleaner versions. I wish Disney would do that with more of their classic films, but I don't know how much of that is easily available. Stuff degrades, and I don't know what was saved or not saved, but I tend to visit those presentations at D23 if you ever have the chance. If you're into Disney music, and now Star Wars is a part of that as well. But Disney history, history of Disney music. Randy Thornton and Stacia Martin have delivered incredibly informational presentations throughout the years. And I've had the opportunity to see them at a few different conventions. So if you see them among the list of speakers and you're into Disney music or audio archives, either one of them, don't hesitate to stop by their presentation, because they bring out some really fun nuggets of the audio history. Speaking of audio history, Mike Celestino makes it every week. Every week with his Who's the Boss podcast.
Yeah, and the last episode was the May the 4th episode, where we talked about the mid-'80s droids and Ewoks cartoons, which was a lot of fun. I had never seen any of those before, which is funny because you think I would have, but it was fun to check those out and talk about them with my friend David. And then the previous episode, I had on Kristen Baver, who is the host of This Week in Star Wars. Very excited to talk to her about her new book, Skywalker, A Family at War, which we've talked about before, but it was great to get to interview her.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, you can check that out on Who's the Boss Pod on Twitter, right there. Mm-hmm. Or you can just type in Who's the Boss to iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. And it's always a fun hour or so of talking Star Wars every week. And we're doing the Lucasfilm retrospective, going through all the big projects the company was involved with, all the way from 1971 through basically when Disney acquired the company in 2012 for the 50th anniversary.
So that's it for this week in Star Wars. And we thank you very much for stopping by here. Don't forget to like this stream. It helps other people find us. We'll be here Mondays now. We had been here a different day of the week, but we'll be here Mondays now. We're calling it Omega Mondays, and we'll discuss the latest episode of, they called them chapters, right? I don't think they refer to them as episodes, because then you start to get the weirdness with the fact that Star Wars films are episode 1.
Oh.
I think they have a different. I think
okay.
They call them chapters.
Fair enough. I didn't notice that, but I'll take your word.
Yeah, I may be making that up, but I feel like I was told that by somebody on our team. And so we'll be here Mondays to discuss the latest adventures of Omega and the Bad Batch, along with whatever's going on in the world of Star Wars. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on Twitter at @laughing_place, or follow Mike at Who's the Boss Pod for specifically Star Wars nuggets of information and all of his exploits. He travels around the Southern California theme parks for us. And in fact, he'll be back on air along with myself, my husband, and Jeremiah from the East Coast. And we'll be talking about the latest happenings within Disney parks. And that's happening right here at, is it 4:30, Mike?
I thought it was 4, but
it's 4. No, you're right. It's 4. We'll be here back right here at 4 o'clock. And so until then, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.